Hi, what you're about to see is a call from my online community, Embodied, and it was recorded Thursday, April 10th. Nope, April 9th. Goodness. And our theme for this month of April is grounding into the body. And what happened is I grounded into the body in real time, and you can really see and feel that power, that flow, that energy coming into my body and flowing out from my body, in and out, in and out. And it can be a really powerful experience. The first half of the call was a talk, and it might trigger you. In fact, chances are good it will. And that's okay if you'll allow yourself to get triggered, to get upset, to feel pissed off or upset or whatever it is about what I'm saying, and then take the cues from what I'm saying and go inside and actually feel it in your body rather than externalizing it. You'll find this incredibly powerful freedom inside yourself. It'll be incredibly activating, and you'll find your power coming back home to you, but only if you let it. And the second half of the call, you're invited to join me on the mat for some movement or in a chair or wherever you can move with me to help integrate that movement into the body and bring everything home and let your body choose the movement. Again, it's a really powerful call, and it gives you the opportunity to see what we're doing inside of Embodied. If you've heard me talk about it, if you've become curious at all, or maybe this is your very first time interacting with me and with Embodied, this is a chance to see what it is that is possible when you become embodied inside yourself. So, welcome, and thanks for joining me for this live embodied call. Oh, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is for you. Hello, embodied. So you can see I'm in a slightly different location. I'm literally looking at the day bed that I'm normally sitting on, but when I asked for guidance on what to bring, what wisdom to bring to Embodied to all of us here today, I was told intuitive movement, get on the mat, meet you here. So if you are meeting me here, I encourage you to be in a space and in clothing that allows you to move freely and as fluidly as possible. That doesn't mean you have to be on the floor or a mat. You can still be in a bed or a chair. You may actually want to stand at some point, but just if you're not in a space where you can really come into some movement, then rethink joining me for this call right now and come back to this at a time and a space where you can. So, in other words, if you're driving or doing dishes or otherwise distracted or occupied, and you were just hoping to listen to this and glean what you could while you do other things, this is not the one for that. This is not the meeting for that. So, this is the 9th of April, 2026. I believe it's the 19th live call. And I know I've mentioned it in here before, but again, if you're not following me on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, then you probably have been missing my daily readings where I've sat in meditation asking what the question is that needs to be asked for the day. And then I'm often going to my animal spirit oracle deck for a drawing of a card or two, depending on what the question is, what I'm guided. And sometimes no card drawing. Sometimes I'm just feeling into the answer and providing that. 'Cause let's face it, the cards that I draw are more just a way to connect and a way to represent the answer. But today's question seems to feed into today's call. The question was a two-part question, or at least a two-part answer. The question that was on my heart this morning is, where are we out of alignment collectively and individually? And to be entirely frank, while I did draw two cards for it, the answer is kind of the same. I think one just builds on the other. And what came forth first is where we are out of alignment collectively. And I think that's what I really want to talk with you about today before we come into movement. And it'll tie into coming into alignment individually for ourselves. So the card that I drew from the Animal Spirit Oracle deck was the golden egg. And that represented where we are out of alignment collectively. And the golden egg in that deck represents the heart chakra, our heart space. That alignment with love and truth and our own inner wisdom, inner sensing, our soul. You know, each chakra, each energy center is vital and carries its own power center, right? But the heart, I think, is, when I think of the heart, it is truly at the center of our energy alignment. It really is. That heart center is truth. It is love. It is peace. It is harmony. It is that, it is where it's where everything meets. And when I sat with that card and the interpretation of it in relation to the question of where we are out of alignment as a collective, so as a world, as a community, as humanity, a few things popped into my mind. War, division, and the No Kings protests, oddly enough, that are taking place en masse, um, if not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis across the US. And I guess maybe they're taking place other places in the world that I'm unaware of. But the No Kings protest is very big here. And what really came forth is we are such incredibly powerful creators, not just creative. We are creators. We are divine. We are a part of God. God does not just divide itself into individuated things and lose its creator power. No, it just expands it into every single one of us. We create our reality collectively and individually. And we are so damn powerful that we can create an entire illusory world that feels so real and so much like truth that we then start to believe it's real and to believe it's truth when in fact it is not. We are so damn powerful that we can pull the wool over our own eyes. We can create and perpetuate a world of misery, of suffering, of delusion, of pain. And what the golden egg, what our soul, what God is calling us to is to come back in to our heart space, into our heart center, to come back into divine alignment, to remember who we are as truth, as love, as peace, as harmony. That doesn't mean that we have to be soft and soft-spoken and quiet and demure and stepped on. Can you see what I am embodying right now? I am embodying truth. I am embodying love, and I am not quiet. I am not still and being stepped on, but I am a powerful creator, and I can create a world of love and of peace that comes back into harmony and alignment with truth. And the more every single one of us starts to embody that, starts to ground that down into our body, because that's the theme this month, right? We are grounding into our body. When we ground truth into our body, that is what leads our creation, our creativity, what we birth into the world. The more of us who come back to heart center, who come back and sit with our souls and dig through all of the layers of distortion, of illusion, of pain, of suffering, of the external wars and the internal wars, and the, oh my God, we have a king. We don't have a king in America. We don't. That is an illusion. That is an absolute delusion. Yet we're so powerful that we believe it. Come back in here. Stop with all of the bullshit out there. Come back in here. This is where we need to be. When we come in here, and when we sit with our souls and with our guides of the highest good, and when we sit with God and we pray that we may remember who we are as divine, connected truth. When we can fill ourselves back up with the truth and push out and alchemize and dissolve all of that illusion that we've allowed into our fields and to take power over us, when we take our power back into our heart center and we align it with truth, that truth carries more power than any illusion we've created. That truth carries more love than any illusion we've created. And when we do that, we can start to radiate that out. We can start using that truth, that love to create, to dissolve the illusion in our world, to bring peace. I know that there are already thousands, if not millions, of us doing that work and coming back in more and more. And maybe it's just glimmers and moments spent there. But that's fantastic, because every glimmer, every moment, the more of us that do that and the more of us that make it a priority, if you think your life is fucked up, if you think the world is fucked up, this is your chance. This is when you come back in here. This is why you do it, so that you can change the fucked upness, so you can alchemize it into something beautiful and wonderful. But you aren't going to do it by raging against kings that don't exist, by raging against wars that are actually illusion, by raging against the suffering when you're the one creating it. It's time to take personal responsibility for the immense creator power that you hold. It is time to come back here. It is absolutely time. And when I say take that personal responsibility for your creator power and for what we've created, that doesn't mean that you raped that girl through that guy over there or that you caused that war, but you are perpetuating the illusion that these things exist. When you feed into them, when you give your energy and attention to them. sit with it. The words don't do justice to the description, to what this personal power and responsibility truly is. So if you're triggered right now, sit with it. Avoid the instinct to lash out, to shut this off, to avoid it, to ignore it, to rage against it. Turn that gaze inward. Sit with that trigger. Explore inside your own energy field. Why are you triggered? What's going on inside of you? What have you believed about yourself that is not true, that is being triggered right now? For me, I believed I was small. I believed I had no effect or impact on the external world. I believed that the only way I could have impact was by yelling or raging or focusing out there. Sorry, my feet are falling asleep. Shift position here. And when I actually started to sit with the trigger, with that set of beliefs that I was not a powerful creator, that I was only creation, I started to recognize where I had given all of my power away to all of these different things and authorities. And when I sat with it longer and I listened even more deeply, everything that had been shared about take responsibility, you're a powerful creator, it started to land in small ways, in big ways, in little moments of meditation, in big revelations. And it started to integrate into my body. And I started to actually dissolve those beliefs that I don't have the power. And I started to replace it with that memory, with that remembering, with that knowing that I am powerful, that I am a creator. And I started playing with it. And I noticed that when I filled myself up with the truth and with love, and I allowed it to radiate out from me, and I asked for silly things like, please clear the traffic in front of me on my way up to the city so that I may have an easy drive. And the traffic would clear. The moment someone would come in front of me, a few seconds or a couple of minutes later, they would turn. It was magic, and it's small. But I noticed that the immediate conflict in my life and relationships that caused me like angst or distress or pissed me off or triggered me, those relationships started to dissolve. And maybe the entire relationship with the person dissolved. Some of them shifted and became more aligned. And we're both in a better place now. And I've noticed that as I've risen, those people have too. And there are others that fall out and leave, and that's beautiful. But my world is more peaceful. is more love, is more flow. And I'm not saying that I have completely released all of it and I no longer live in the illusory world at all. No, I'm just saying that through this work, I have brought more truth, more true reality into my field. And it's helping to break apart the collective illusion. And when you do that, it becomes exponential. It becomes so much more powerful than you can imagine for every single one of us that does that. You aren't just impacting one more person. You're impacting hundreds. And when you add in another person, we're impacting hundreds of thousands. You add in another, tens of millions. Add in another, we're getting into the billions. And we're changing the world. So change the world with me. The second part of this morning's reading was, where are we out of alignment individually? And the swan was the card that I pulled. And in the card, it's the swan floating on this mirror glass water. So you see an exact reflection of the swan beneath. And the swan reminds us of our creativity, of our intense creator power. And it reminds us that when we are out of alignment, when we are out of balance, we need that solo time with our souls. We need to come back and ground into our body. Our soul wants to meet us in our body. Our soul chose to come into this body so that it could be part of the collective that destroys and dissolves this illusion, this illusory world of pain and suffering. That's why we're here. That's why we're grounding into our body, so that we can begin to meet our soul here. So let's start to do that. Find a comfortable position in your chair, on your mat, on the floor, on the bed, on the couch, wherever you're at. Just find a comfortable seated position. Seated. We're going to start seated. And if you can, go ahead and bring a hand to your heart and a hand over your belly. And actually, we're going to come a little bit lower, almost like that lower abdomen, right over where your womb is or would be if you are not a woman. Because we all have this space here. Energetically, man or woman, we all have this creative creator space in our energetic body, right over that sacral chakra, and hand on our heart center. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, please do so now. Just listen to the cueing of my voice and open your eyes only if you need to. And otherwise, if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that's fine too. I encourage you to just soften your gaze, maybe down to the tip of your nose or the lap or floor in front of you, where you're not quite focused on anything, but your vision's almost blurry. Start to breathe in and out through your nose and bring each inhale all the way down into that sacral area, into that creator space. And as you exhale through the nose, exhale out that lower belly, all the way out. Inhaling deep into that lower belly, filling up your pelvic bowl. Exhaling out from the belly, out through the heart space. Start to feel or imagine that you can feel the flow of truth. Maybe you imagine this is a brilliant golden white light that you breathe in down into your belly and it swirls around and flows out and around you as you exhale. Ever moving, ever exchanging, ever flowing. Allow that breath and that golden white, truth-filled light to fill your entire body, especially starting with that sacral area and with that heart center. Those two spaces underneath the palms of your hands, filling up, swirling. You can imagine that that light is fluid and is almost swirling around and cleaning out those distorted beliefs, those illusions that you've held on to as truth, as reality that are not. You don't have to analyze or think about what those are. Stay with that light, with that breath, and just let it do what it's doing. Keep coming back to that light and that breath as often as you need to. And now we're going to start to move a little bit. So if you're sitting down on the floor and you're cross-legged, that's great. Go ahead and bring your hands to your knees or shins. If your legs are kind of out in front of you, then just make sure that you have some kind of stability here. So think of almost bending my knees out like this if I'm going to do it like that. And if you're seated on a bed or couch or a chair, go ahead and if you're not able, like on a bed, you can lay out, but on a couch or chair, bring your feet to the floor and your hands to your lap. We're going to take that deep breath in through the nose. Shift your chest open and over your lap. So you're kind of bringing the head back, drawing those shoulder blades back and together on the inhale. And we're going to start to circle out our spine as you exhale fully at the back. And here you're kind of drawing those shoulders forward, rolling them forward, opening up, spreading out through those shoulder blades in the back, tucking the chin in, and inhaling as you come back to center. Opening up through the chest as you come to the center and the throat. And these spinal circles are, what is it, the Sufi grind, or as my yoga teacher called it, Siri Om. It's just really working in that pelvic bowl too. So you're moving all parts of your spine, starting to allow the body to move with that breath, with that golden white light. And I'm coming from the side so you can see my profile as I do this. And the next time we come to the front, we're going to go ahead and switch the direction of those circles. And just because what you're doing doesn't look exactly like what I'm doing doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Let your body guide your movement, guide your breath. And if your spine is not mobile, just move what you can. Say your spine is fused and maybe you're in a clamshell brace. Maybe you're just moving your shoulders as you can. Or just bringing some flow into your wrists or your ankles. If that's what can move, that's perfectly fine. Whatever it is you're able to do with your body. Maybe all you can manage for whatever reason, maybe paralysis, maybe intense illness, maybe all you can imagine or do is imagine that you're moving. Your imagination is an intensely powerful and creative tool at your disposal. Go ahead now and come back to center. Straighten your spine and sit up as tall as your body allows, and take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold it here at the top and sigh it out. Now, if you are down on the floor or in a bed, you can come onto all fours. Go ahead and join me in what's called tabletop position, where our knees are directly below our hips and wrists and elbows are directly below the shoulders. So you have this flat back. And if you're seated, give me a moment and I will show you how to do this in a chair. But we're going to do some cat-cows, again, flexing that spine. So you're going to inhale, drop the belly down towards the mat, lift that head up as high as you can. So you're really arching through that lower back. And as you exhale, you're rounding through the spine, tucking that chin in towards your chest as much as possible, creating space between your shoulder blades. So inhaling, this position is called cow. Exhaling, this position is called cat. And continue this if you're on all fours. And if you're seated and don't already know how to do cat cows, imagine that my legs, I'm seated on a chair rather than on my heels. And again, my hands are going to be on my lap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale in, my belly comes forward, my head comes back, my shoulder blades draw back and together. And exhale, round through the spine, kind of tuck that pelvis under, tuck the chin. So inhaling, seated cow, exhaling, seated cat. So again, whichever version of this, at whatever level you are able to do, there's a reason why our chakras are depicted going up the length of our spine. Our spine is the physical pathway that our energetic highway runs. The more we can bring physical health and movement and flow along our spine, the more this will enhance our energetic alignment. And again, if physically your spine is all jacked up, that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't become in energetic alignment. Just means you really got to tap into that imagination and start to work energetically with that flow. Now, if you're still doing those cat cows, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Drop into cow and really hold that breath, hold that pose, seated or on all fours like I am now. Exhale out through the nose, into cat, really rounding through the spine, holding that breath out, almost as though you still have air to exhale. And deep breath in, come back to a straight spine. And I encourage you, if, again, you're on floor, bed, or mat, to go ahead, spread those knees wide and bring those big toes towards each other. If they can touch, great. If they can't, that's okay too. And as much as your body and your hips will allow, sit back towards your heels, and then you're going to stretch those fingertips out in front of you and rest your forehead down on the ground or the bed, maybe a pillow, maybe you don't have this kind of flexibility and you want to stack either one forearm or both so that you can do this. Maybe your hips don't allow you to sit back very far. That's okay. You can come into kind of a, I think what they call this is puppy pose, where your hips are up and you're out. If you're able to send those arms long, stretch out. If you're on a chair or a couch, again, feet are flat on the floor. If you have a table or a TV tray or something that you can put in front of you, then you can stretch out onto that platform and do a seated child's pose. That's what we're doing. Child's pose here. And otherwise, if you don't have that option, If you're able to just come and fold forward and just hang arms down towards the floor, go for it, or just sit with hands in your lap. Wherever you're at, start to feel into your body. Start to notice how your body feels without any judgment. Notice any spots that feel stuck, tense, painful, buzzing, vibrating, fuzzy, sharp, soft, tight or loose. Just notice what's going on in your body. Remember to bring your breath in and out through your nose, all the way down into your belly, out of your belly. Start to let that breath flow into those places inside your body, whatever position you're holding. Those places that feel that any kind of distorted. Maybe they feel hot. Maybe they feel really cold or numb. Or like anything else I've described or not described so far. There's no right or wrong here. There's just what's going on with your body. And as you bring your breath into those places, start to let your body show you how it wants to move or position itself. Maybe it wants to stretch more into like one shoulder in that child's pose, stretching one arm out over to the other side to deepen that stretch. Maybe it just wants to sway gently where it is. Maybe it's asking for a little massage in those tight spaces. Maybe it's asking for some tapping. Feeling the beats of your fingertips, your fists, or the palms of your hands on your body, gently vibrating those spaces and places back into alignment. There's no wrong way to move, to flow. If you're still in child's pose or folded forward in your chair, and your body's asking you to come into a different position, come into that position. We're now beginning to move intuitively into our bodies. You don't have to do what I'm doing. What I am doing is what my body is asking for. What is your body asking for? Sometimes my body is asking for absolute stillness. And sometimes it's asking me to move. Big, strong movements. Maybe it's asking for a laugh. Or a hug or a cry. or a shout. Maybe it wants to sing, to make weird noises, to growl. There's no wrong way to move unless it's the way your body doesn't want you to move. Let your body move in the way it's asking for, in the way the energy is asking to move through your body. Let it move. Let yourself stand and move if that's what calls to you. Whatever is being asked right now, that's what you do. Doesn't matter if you look gracious or like a stomping elephant or a zombie that's uncoordinated. Just move, flow, let yourself feel your body, feel into what it's asking for, what feels good to it. Maybe it's gentle, slow, micro movements. Maybe, like mine today, is asking for bigger, more exaggerated movements. And what's interesting that I'm noticing here is I've had a migraine today and I still have it a bit. And it's been pretty bad. And when I have a migraine, I tend to freeze. I tend to come into as much stillness as possible. And what I found the more I've come into alignment is that my body actually wants me to move. And it may not be something like running or jumping, but it's asking me to flow, to stretch, to bring and restore movement and flow inside my physical body and my energetic body. So again, this is all flowing, grounding into your body. Start and slow down now. Especially if, like me, you are moving a lot. Start to notice your heartbeat. Mine is much faster than it was before this movement. If it feels good to come into a seat, go for it. Or maybe, like the end of a yoga class, you want to come down to lying flat on your back and your spine. But after these moments of movement, even if they were just micro movements, take a few minutes here with me in stillness. Whether you're seated or lying or standing perfectly still. Allow your breath to come in and out of your nose. This time, just let it be however your body wants your breath to be. Keep your gaze soft or your eyes closed. Keep bringing that inner eye into your body. That attention into your heart space and into your sacral area. If you want, I invite you to put your hand back over your heart space and one over your womb space again. Just noticing how your body feels after that movement. Noticing what has shifted, or if anything shifted. It's okay if nothing shifted. Just means it takes maybe a little more time, a little more intention, or maybe something shifted at the cellular level and isn't quite in your awareness yet. You did not do this wrong. And each time, if you choose to come back here or come back to this intuitive movement on your own, each time will be different. Because each time you will have something else to move, to shift. The energy wants to flow in and around your body in new and exciting ways every time. I invite you to come back to this practice. Come back to the recording here, if that serves you, or do this on your own every day. And maybe you just set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes to come first into stillness, drawing that breath all the way down to the belly and all the way out to the belly. Scanning the body and then allowing the body to start to move however it wants to move that day. Seated, standing, lying, maybe it's structured and you're doing specific stretches or yoga poses or exercise routines. Maybe it's completely unstructured and looks wild and crazy and funny. And maybe it's absolute stillness. This is your chance to get to know your soul inside your body on a level that you've never known before. This is your opportunity to start to remember at a cellular level what right now you think you don't even know. That you are divine creator. You create the world you live in. So do you continue to believe the illusion of the pain, the suffering, the turmoil, the life is hard? Or do you come back to the truth? Do you come back to the love, to true reality, where those things only exist if you choose to make them into existence? You can choose flow. You can choose love. You can choose ease and abundance. You can choose to create and perpetuate a world of love and peace and flow and abundance for all. Or you can choose to stay in this self-perpetuating cycle of war, of suffering, of pain, of heartbreak. The choice is yours. I love you so very much. I'll see you next week. Wow, you made it to the very end of the video. That's gotta mean something, right? This was a long one. And I so greatly appreciate you staying with me for that entire hour-long call. I hope that it activated and opened something up inside of you and brought a little more of you into your body and into connection with your soul. And because you made it to the end of the video, I really want to invite you personally to join me in my online community, Embodied. Every week we have calls like this. Sometimes they're more just discussions or we go into deep meditations. Sometimes we do movement practices, but everything is always about becoming more soul-led, more heart-centered, more living inside our bodies. And because you made it to the end of this video, I want to offer you a coupon code, which will be in the description box for this video below. And it'll be good. Um, well, I don't know how long it'll be good for, but I promise you that you should check it out. And it's going to give you $10 off your very first month's membership of Embodied, which you can cancel at any time if you come in and decide later that it isn't for you. But a month's membership is $27. And so your first month with that coupon code only be $17. And I have over 20 hours worth of content, video and audio and PDF resources available for you to meet you wherever you're at and help you in your own personal journey. And whether you can make a live call or can only join me on the recordings, it doesn't matter. I'm still here for you. The community is still here for you. And it's your opportunity to take that personal responsibility and to do something absolutely amazing for yourself. So join me in Embodied. Head to my website, questionsauthority.com/join dash embodied, or just head to the main website, questionsauthority.com, and scroll down. You'll find Embodied. I promise you that. Much love to you. Again, check out the coupon code in the description box, and I will see you there.